need at least 15 minutes. All right, well, let's get started. I know a couple people will be trickling in. I'm gonna let you pause. Let's see. I took the mouse from my controller here. We're gonna get started. I'm pretty excited today. I'm gonna be going over market stats. So I'll have some good details in here that I think will be really good for you updating your listing presentation. So we'll get to that in just a minute. But just real quick, I want to give a couple of shout outs. Haley Honeycutt, I know she's not here today, but she got her first closing last week. So that's always exciting. And just recognition, all these were on Facebook already, but our top closed groups were Gray Group, Alice Maxwell, Legacy Lane, Global, and Hospitality Groups. So congrats. Top individuals. Oh, we had a tie. We had a tie for number 10. I was like, why do we have 11 on there? It's supposed to be 10. Shout out goes to Donna Terry as our number 1 individual agent last month. Holly Richardson, Holly Mack Wilson. She left. I'm gonna get her to karaoke for us at some point. Jessica Leopard Johnson, Desiree Richardson, Joe Jr., Barb Myers. Man, if y'all ever doing a deal in Thermopolis and y'all work with Barb, she is so awesome. She's not in here all the time, but y'all need to call her sometime. She is so fun to work with. Britt Payne, Michelle Zambrano, David Wilder, and Melanie coming in right there, tying it up at the end. There he is. See, there he is. He tied for 10. Good job, guys. So congrats to all of y'all on close volume for December. And then our top team members, John Randall. Who's going to take John Randall out of that first spot this year? 2022 goals. Wilson. His replica. Austin Bobo, Laura Jernigan, Jared Shelton. I want to point out Jared for a second. Jared, come on. When did Jared start with the Gray Group? October, November? I hired him. I should remember. So Jared in December closed more deals here at KW than he had at his old brokerage the entire time he'd been there. And I promised him when he came over here, we changed his life. And so I was really excited to see him hit that top 10 for December. So that was really fun for me to see that pop up there. Jonathan Brandon. Yep. Chris Morgan. Rob Davis. All right, so who's gonna come in off of the Junkin team here? Who's coming in January? Who's beating who? You think so? You're supposed to say me.
No, I think
You still got, yeah. You can wrap this up. Cash fire, right?
Yeah, right.
Close it out. Brandon Schwab with the Alice Maxwell team, Miss Lisa Smalley, congratulations. And Byron Bennett. I don't know where Byron's at. I'm giving him a hard time for not being in here with me today. So top producing team, shout out to the Gray Group. We've been back and forth with you now. Let's see where January lands. And of course, John for the top producing team member. And top individual agent is Donna Terry. And I've got a special shout out. So I want to give out a non-productive award. I want to shout out to someone who I think is often doing things that we don't always know. And since I've stepped into this new role, it's really highlighted that for me. This is somebody who stayed till like 7 or 8 o'clock working on our Santa event, cleaning up, making sure the office was ready to go the next day, and also putting together a blood drive yesterday. And she totally thinks this award was for someone else because me and Shay take her out, but that's for Sierra. For it, and I told Shay we're going to change that out so we can surprise her. But so we appreciate all that you're doing for the Market Center, and I know a lot of that goes unseen and is after hours, and we appreciate you very much. So, all right, y'all ready to talk about how we wrapped up 2021? Yeah. Y'all, I am so insanely proud of this office and what y'all did last year. I know that Donna Terry. Last month. And just so y'all know, our next team meeting, I will be giving out all of our annual awards. Okay, it takes some time for us to tally that. I've had Sierra and Shay very busy putting together all the numbers, so we'll have that for the next meeting. So Margaret says, I know that y'all are all going to want this to be able to share on your social media. So as soon as we wrap up, Shay or Sierra one will be emailing out these slides so that y'all can use them for sharing or for you to have these stats if you want to use them for your presentation. And there's definitely some info in here that is going to win y'all listings in 2022. Okay. All right. So market stats. So Keller Williams office. I need my little pen here. Let me grab this. Make sure it's on. Keller Williams in the, well, this is the MLS. So all West Alabama MLS. There were 3,989 sales in West Alabama. That's total. Okay. So total property sold. That's including condos. Okay, I think that's important to note because some of these stats are I'm taking condos out of the equation. Out of that, 1,166 were represented by Keller Williams Tuscaloosa. Yeah, 29% of seller representation, so listings, were Keller Williams agents. Ooh, okay, I like that. Get some oohs and ahs in here. Out of that 3,989. 1,225, so 31% were Keller Williams buyer represented transactions. Okay. Woohoo! That's amazing. 31%. And 559 of those, so 14% were dual agency transactions, meaning Keller Williams represented both sides. Nancy, close your eyes. Y'all, that's huge for when you're sitting and you're talking to a seller and they're wanting to know why to go with a Keller Williams agent. Well, a lot of our transactions, another Keller Williams agent is probably going to be bringing us that buyer. That's a huge selling point. So give yourselves a hand because this is amazing. All right, so next up, so 3,417 of those were single family resident. Okay, so brought in single family and garden homes. So this is excluding condos. Okay, and out of that, 866 of those were represented by Keller Williams. Y'all were the seller reps on that. 25%. So 1/4 of our market, we're taking it right here. 957 of those transactions were buyer representation by Keller Williams agents. So 28%. These are single family homes. 380 of those, so 11% were dual agency. Again, y'all repping both sides of a transaction. All right, so single family residential, days on market. So what do y'all think the MLS days on market, average days on market is? 7 hours. Not quite that short. 21 days, including condos. I think it's 40, 50, 7 hours. All right, so 38 days. That's West Alabama MLS. This is excluding condos because they usually have longer days on market. Okay. What do you think Keller Williams? It's optimistic. 7 hours. Yeah, 7 hours. So how many days on market do you think paid up to 21? 14. That's what y'all gonna bring in 2022. 14 days on market. It's 30. Okay, so KW average days on market. So we are beating out the rest of the market when we are representing a listing by 8 days. You're selling 8 days faster. Y'all, that's 31% faster than our competitors. Put that in your listing presentations. We are selling listings 31% faster than anyone else in the Tuscaloosa market. That's amazing. All right, So average sales price, y'all, here's your golden ticket. Okay, so our average sales price for West Alabama MLS right now is $273,091. This is insane. It was 230 something last year. It was 209 the year before. Okay, so we've grown year over year. All right, y'all ready? This is how y'all are gonna win listings. Y'all ready? KW average sales are 280,145. So we are selling listings 2.58% higher when using a KW agent. So when you're sitting there taking a listing and they want to negotiate your commission, the answer for Trisha Gray is no, because that's the question, no. Keller Williams agents are selling at 2.58% higher than any other competitor in our market. So that's covering my commission for the listing side pretty much. That right there should bring home a listing every single time you sit down at the table. You drop that stat, sign there, and you're ready to go. Take those listings, okay? Because, yeah, here's your pen. You ready to sign? Great. That's amazing. Now this one's real fun, and I know everybody's not in the condo market. I don't know where John's at, so we're gonna let him know. But we have a lot of agents selling condos. We got John, Alice, Vicky, Donna, you sell. We've got a lot of people selling. Our condo stats are really fun. Okay, there he is. You heard his name. 2021 condo stats. Okay, y'all ready? So condos sold in West Alabama MLS in 2021 was 422. 252 seller representation by KW agents, and that's 60% market share in Tuscaloosa. That's amazing. 60% market share on condos. 209 of those, so 50%, we represented buyers in those transactions. And 150 of those, so 36% were dual agency. That was John on both sides of the deal. But John and Wilson, Kim said Wilson's taking out your stats this year. Y'all, this is like, you don't wonder why he walks around on the phone all the time. No, but there's a lot of our agents that are selling condos. It's not just John. And y'all, these stats are amazing. Y'all should be very, very proud of yourself for how we showed up in 2021. And I don't have this on the slide, but this is pretty cool too. So when I look at top ranking brokerages, specifically to our market, obviously we're number one. We like that spot, right? No, we're beating our next closest competitor by 437 million in volume. 59% more volume is going through our brokerage than any other brokerage in our market. Wow. Y'all better tell Liz thank you. We are keeping them busy. Well, that's phenomenal. Phenomenal. And what's really cool about that, and who we're going to be talking to next, we've got our ALC with us today. We're going to do a panel about our Agent Leadership Council. Do you know if our ALC, if I took all of our current ALC members and they were their own brokerage, they would be number 9 of top brokerages in our market. So the agents who are having influence on what we do, because we are agent centered, we're agent focused, and they're playing a huge part in what we're doing right here in this market, our culture. They would be one of the top brokerages if it were them on their own. If I just take their checks, they did 56 million in volume last year combined. Y'all, we have a powerhouse ALC this year. And I'm excited to bring them up for some ALC discussion. So Oh, real quick before I do that, sorry, I'm jumping ahead a bit. I want to give y'all inventory real fast. And this is from yesterday. So Jessica, I know you've already looked at this today, so if I'm off by a couple, this was pulled yesterday. She's the stats queen. So active listings, total inventory, MLS, this is crazy low, it's 408. That's
So can I just say, like, if you're new in the industry, 6 or 7 years ago, there were 2,000 active listings in MLS. So when people say it's low, that gives you, how low.
and what was it, like maybe a year ago, we were, yeah, that's total.
So like, that's total of condos and rent. and
It does
commercial.
not include commercial. That doesn't include commercial. Yeah. But, I mean, just this time last year, I think this was around 800.
There are more agents than there are.
Yes, there are more agents than there are listings. Okay, so you gotta fight for your fair share. So 353 of these are single family or garden home in West Alabama MLS. 55 are condos right now. And 227 single family residents are, well, no, it's single family and condo, are in Tuscaloosa and Northport only. So if I cut out all the other counties that you represent, and if you're mainly working just Tuscaloosa, Northport, 227 active listings. So those stats I just shared with you, you know how hard it is to get a buyer a deal right now, right? Y'all are fighting for those deals. We want to make sure that we're in the lead and in the front, and it's gonna be about getting those listings. And I just gave you stats to win those listing appointments when you walk in those doors. So use those numbers. You know, I hear this all the time when I'm teaching classes. It's like, well, I'm a newer agent. I don't have my own stats yet, or I haven't been in this business very long. Guys, you have Keller Williams standing behind you, and you have our statistics. Use them to go and win the listing. We're going to support you, and we're going to take care of you. Those are your numbers. They're all of our numbers, and you should be very, very proud of those. Take those and use those, put those in your presentation. So y'all should all be very, very proud of yourselves. All right, so now, since I jumped ahead of myself a little bit, ALC. So if y'all can make your way up, ladies. When I say we have a powerhouse ALC, can you share the screen? I've got a couple of folks that are remote today. You can pull that up for me. Awesome. So Kim and Sherry, and I know Denise and Jessica are on Zoom with us. And Casey Snyder is also a member of ALC, and Melanie, she got a sick grandbaby today. She just messaged me a few minutes ago. So you got it? You can stop screen share. You can stop share. There we go. And put it on, can you put it on speaker? Up at the top. I do have a touch screen, guys. Okay, they'll pop up when they start talking. All right, so ALC, who can tell me what ALC is? Not Trisha, not Holly. Take it on. Haley. Agent Leadership Council. All right, so when you hear that as an agent, before I get to y'all, what do you think of when you hear us talk about ALC or Agent Leadership Council? Advocacy. Advocacy? Wondering what exactly they do? What do they do? So that's actually my first question. So, ladies, if y'all will just real quick in your words, tell me, I'm gonna start with Jessica and Denise up here on the screen. What exactly is ALC?
I guess I'll go first.
Yeah, go
Oh.
first.
Okay. All right. Hopefully you guys can hear me. The ALC is the Associate Leadership Council, and it was basically created by Gary Keller to help it be a agent-centric company. So essentially the top 20% of agents get an opportunity to be an extension of the leadership team in each market center. So we get to serve on different committees and basically help with the running of the market center. So in different buckets and categories, we meet once a month and, basically insert our opinions and our input in the daily running of the Market Center.
Jessica, you have anything you want to add on that?
I was gonna say the same thing, just like helping leadership decisions to try to make the office more productive and profitable.
Ladies, y'all have anything you want to add?
We're the keepers of the culture. It's up to, I mean, we're an example of what we stand for.
Yep.
And so that we run our businesses like businesses, and we keep our core standards, our culture that we have, and we try to be an example and help others within one. So
Jerry, you have anything you want to check on?
Gary Keller has always said that it would be God, family, and then work. And that's the way you should lead your life, your business. Be an example to others. Be the professional in the transaction. And always lead with the best outcome for your client.
Win-win or no deal?
that's right.
Win-win or no deal? So what happens, so ALC meets once a month. We meet the third Tuesday of every month. So when we get together for that meeting once a month, I'm gonna start with Sherry on the end here, and we'll work back the other way now. What happens at these meetings?
Well, we go over production. We go over what we would like to see the Market Center do in the future. We set up future ideas and future classes to help enhance our business and then to go on and enhance your business. So like this coming up month, we're gonna have a mastery person.
Yeah, we have a MAPS mastery. We're gonna have an operations coach come in this month. She's gonna be on Zoom, and specifically talking about profit and loss and teaching them. They had some questions about profit loss, and so I went out per their request, and I have found a mastery coach to come and join us for that meeting to come in and answer their questions about profit loss and how to best utilize that. And so we bring in special speakers. So what else happens at ALC meetings? You're held accountable.
Yeah, we're held accountable to the committees that we serve, and also to our budgets. Are we keeping the budget? And where are we on our profit? And we have to give the percentages of where we stand on that. And so that makes sure that we're running our business, but it's teaching us how to do it correctly. It's getting us in the pattern of doing it correctly. So therefore we can then pour into you guys to make sure that you're doing it. Because let's be honest, at the end of the day, bankrupt, then you working.
Yeah.
You know, you're not getting anywhere. So let's.
And we follow the models in the regularly with
It's
REA.
systems, and we learn them and we teach them.
Yeah. Jessica?
I don't really know if we've hit everything, I think. I just had written down, like, we develop policies and guidelines for the office. We discussed like what kind of education or masterminds that would be helpful or that other agents would see helpful, setting the standards, resolve any issues that are maybe coming up, talk about agents in, agents out. Kim said protecting company culture. So we talk about how we can do that. And then of course, holding the Market Center and ourselves accountable for how we're running our business. And are we in line with the models that have been proven?
Janice, what do you want to add?
Ditto. They hit every single point that I had. So great job.
Can I add something real quick that I think is really important? You know, we profit share. So basically what that means, when you look at our net profit every month, we pay about 50% of that back to the agents. Well, if the Market Center wants to spend money on something for the Market Center, it goes to the ALC. The ALC has to approve that expense before it's spent, because if they approve that expense, it affects profit share. So it's not the owners who make those decisions, it is the ALC.
Mhm. And that's what I was going to point out too, is our ALC are also who's holding me and Trisha accountable to our roles within the Market Center as well. They're also seeing, like, I pull up our Market Center trends. So we talk numbers, not just their numbers, to make sure that that they're getting what they need in their businesses or for their businesses, but they're also making sure that the market center is doing what we're supposed to do, and there's that transparency, and we pull those reports up and look at those together. So it's really a two-way street, and I think that's something important for our agents to know, that they're playing a huge role in what we're doing within our market center. So, what exactly are the responsibilities for an ALC member? So Janice, I'll start with you.
Sure. I think we've kind of touched on it, just kind of talking through this, but basically, being a leader within the organization, within the market center, helping other agents, holding ourselves accountable to the models, being participatory, not just being present, but obviously participating in the meetings. I think Jessica mentioned guidelines and rules and things of that nature within the market center, making sure that we're adding our input. So those are just a few of the things that we're responsible for, in addition to culture, uplifting the culture of the market center and the organization as a whole.
Ladies, do y'all have anything else y'all want to add on that? I know we've kind of touched on some of these responsibilities.
We lead on, we lead committees and that board and he has Felicity, we're here to help you grow, because when you grow, we grow.
And speaking of committees, all of y'all are responsible for chairing a committee or playing a role within the market center. Jessica, I'm gonna start with you. Tell us what your role is within ALC as far as it is pertaining to a committee or a chair.
I am the agent advocacy committee, which really just means that if you have something going on or you have any negative, or really it doesn't have to be negative, it could be positive, it could be negative, it could be you're not sure if it's negative or positive, just anything that you want to talk about to someone that you feel you can't just go to anyone about, or something that you would maybe want addressed at the next ALC meeting regarding something that you've seen or felt you were treated some kind of way, or any issue that you're having, or if you're like not seeing classes that pertain to you, then you can come to me and say, hey, this is what I'd like to see. And then I will be your spokesperson at the ALC meeting if you are not comfortable coming yourself to sit in to discuss. Well, I think you're not allowed to do, like guests aren't supposed to really talk at the ALC meeting. So there's that, but you can come to me with anything and bounce it off of me or ask me to address it with other leadership members. I'm just there for you as your like person, because I don't have a problem saying anything. So
she will definitely be anyone's voice. And what she said too is like, if you go, and you can go to any ALC member, but that's really Jessica's role within our current ALC. So if you have something that you want tabled or hit our agenda, take it to Jessica, and I promise she's gonna speak up and represent you and table that idea or concern with us. All right, Janice, what's your role on ALC this year?
All right, so I am serving as the chair for the equity committee, and basically, unfortunately, inequality and inequity still exists in 2022. It has for, a long time, and basically, my capacity is to lead the committee, and I'm just inspired to do it because I'm proud to be a part of an organization that championed adding equity to its pillars of culture a couple of years ago with everything that's been going on. So my goal is just basically to create a safe space to be able to have conversations around equity and to learn and to grow.
And to add on to that, this is something I found out the other day. Keller Williams International is actually developing some designations around equality, and they're going to have some specific courses that you can take to get some additional designations in our industry. And so as we get the details, because it's brand new, all the information hasn't been released yet, but as that is released, and I think we'll be hearing about it at Family Reunion more as well, we will be getting that out, and by we, the entities will make sure that we're getting that information out to our market center, so that y'all can participate in those those KWRI international courses. So, so Kim, what's your role within ALC?
I'm on education. So I work with Nancy, bless her heart. Y'all love her very much because what her role is huge. I work with her, I work with Holly, I work with Elena, and even Liz on what are you guys struggling with. And we'll try to bring classes and education on that. More so, we don't want you to be the dumb agents out there. We want you to be the smart ones. We're gonna really try to wrap that up a little bit. Like we did the contract class last week, so I'm real excited about it, digging into some details on it, so. I'll continue to do things like that all year, but I'm also serving on the, there's an education ALC mastermind in the region that I'm on too, that I'm gonna get a lot of different ideas on that level, so I'm excited about that too.
And you had rave reviews about your diving deep contracts class the other day. So if there's something you're not sure about, obviously Nancy's responsible for all of us. And if there's something that you can't get to Nancy on, or you have a question about, Kim is also a resource for you. Or if there's something that you're wanting to learn, make sure you're letting her know what that is, because she's coming back to me and Sierra saying, these are classes I'm hearing that our agents are wanting. How do we get it on the calendar? So she's going to fight for y'all to have that space on our calendar as well. Sherry, what's your role?
Cultural committee, and that is giving back to our community. When we started Keller Williams in 2015, I started on that committee right away, and I have been working on it for now 6 years. And what we do is we give back to our community in projects such as Thanksgiving meals, Christmas Angels. We're Adopt a School partner for Collins Riverside, Habitat for Humanity, Red Day. And we are going to be spearheading a new one, which is going to be called Patty's Pantry. It is a pantry that we're going to set, and it's going to be a pilot program in Riverside for kids who do not have certain things at home. They can go to this pantry, they can be nominated by their teacher or by the guidance counselor to get things like shampoo, soap, the basic essentials you need to survive. So we're starting that this spring, but there's gonna be a lot of stuff coming up and down the pipeline for the spring. So put it on your calendars. We're gonna have Red Day coming up pretty soon.
What is Red Day for our new agents?
Red Day is where Keller Williams takes one day out of the year, and it's usually what, the third?
It's in May.
It's like the second or third week. It's on a
Yeah.
Thursday, isn't it?
I think so. It's
It's
different
about-
every year.
It's mid.
May.
It's May
So we-
12th this year.
It's May 12th this year.
So we go out in the community on that day and we do a special project. In the past, we've done Habitat for Humanity. We have done food bank. What else have we done? That's the main ones.
We've, and the blood drive.
And the blood draw. We closed Keller Williams.
And every KW in the world closes their office on that
Same
same
day.
day. Get back to the-
Yeah.
So that's coming up. And so we'll do something with, I know with the school and something else.
I want to say something. Committees, we need you on the committees. So if you have any interest in any of the committees that we're trying to run, we need you. Come talk to us, because I'm sure you get tired of me standing up there talking. I don't want to be the old, you know what I mean? Or Sherry, we can't do any of this without you guys. So if you want to volunteer on one of them, we need your help, and we would love to know that you're interested and come give us your input.
So any of these topics, like pull at your heart or something that you're interested in, definitely reach out and let us know. Reach out to these ladies, because especially like some of these bigger events, or even social or whatever it is, it's y'all backing that up and plugging in the market center that's going to help them, because those events are not, they're not easy to put together, and it definitely takes manpower. So, we'd love your support on that. So, kind of wrapping, I got two more questions real quick. So ALC members are the guardians of culture in our market center. And you're responsible, we've already talked about the chair and committees, but when you think of guardians of culture, what role do you feel like you play in that, or what's that mean to y'all as ALC?
I feel like that we have standards, and I believe that if we don't uphold our own standards, well, then we really don't have any teeth in anything that we say or do. And if we have to have backbone in that, and I think that starts with leadership. I think that if the leadership is not upholding the standards that we say that we stand for, right? Then, I mean, how are you going to be expected to do that? And then also, why would you? Why would you have respect for that? So I think it's very important to know what that is called, that culture, what we stand for, what does it mean? What are our core values, guys? And we want to pour that into music. That's one of the reasons you're here.
Jessica, Janice, do y'all have anything you want to add to that on being the guardians of culture?
No, I don't have anything to add.
Well, these ladies are a big part of your voice, and we definitely appreciate them and appreciate them stepping up, because they're volunteering their time when they do this. So my last question, and I'm gonna let Kim take it, because I know she has the answer on it, and it wasn't on your sheet that I sent you. If somebody's interested in being an ALC in the future, what are some things they can work on this year to make sure they're positioning to do that?
Well, you've got to be in the top 20%. So that's the big thing. I mean, to qualify for it. And then also come to some of the ALC meetings so you know what we do, what it is. Whenever I was considering, I went to the last few meetings so I can make sure that I knew where things were, where we were in the process, budget wise, make sure I understood that. Also, learn how to run your business, start following models and systems and put those things in place. I think that those things will help you and get involved in some of the committees, and also try to talk to the land about that as well. And another thing that we do is also try to bring, this is something that I feel like I failed with Nathan on, and I'm trying to not do this till Delana too. As one of those owners, is one of the agents here, and Delana needs our support. It's huge. Liz needs our support. Nancy needs our support. Holly Mack needs our support. Trisha needs our support. Shay, all of us. But more so, when we have these classes, you don't know everything they'll say, and if you do, you are a liability, and you. Come to them. Take the time to come to them, because we're taking the time to do. There's so much education out there that if there's events, it's like Red Day and stuff. We need your support. We need you to kind of participate in that. That's important. If you're doing a good deal with somebody, help us grow the company. If you're doing it, you gotta get that to the lineup. That's how we're going to grow. And tell, you know what I mean? Like, tell our story. Why are you here? And that's show how awesome, why you think Owen's awesome.
And I won't point this out all the time, but I want to point this out once for y'all, because Keller Williams is one of the top companies for females in our industry. And this is the first time in Keller Williams Tuscaloosa history, and like, I was very, very excited about this. We have an all-female leadership this year. And ALC. So I was pretty excited about that. But if y'all give them a big heart. I'm sure y'all have it broken down. But I'm very proud of these ladies. I'm extremely thankful for them, because coming into a new team leader role, I knew having a strong ALC, that's who I lean in on. I'm in conversation with them a lot, and I'm very thankful for them. But give them a big round of applause. Thank you. All right. 18th through the 22nd. It's in Orlando. There's also a virtual option for that. We haven't had family reunion in 2 years. So all of us who've been before, or who have been waiting for it, like Holly, she's been waiting for this. We're very excited to get back to being in person. They have capped the number of attendance for in person at 12,000, and we're rocking right around 10,000 as of yesterday numbers that we got. So if you are even on the fence about attending in person in Orlando, you need to go ahead and get that ticket and book that trip, or you might miss out on an opportunity. If travel's not in the books for y'all, there's a great virtual option for you as well. Definitely partake in that. We're gonna have it set up in here, so we'll be live streaming some of the events in like the state of the company with Gary Keller. We're gonna have that broadcast. So that's gonna be very important. We have emailed out and we will continue to send it out. If you are planning to go in person, we have sent out a Google form. If y'all will respond back to that, because we're going to get together a group of everybody that's going to be traveling, because there are certain COVID protocols and some details that we need to make sure that you have if you're planning to attend in person. So we want to make sure we're getting that information out to the group that's going to be traveling. So let us know. You can send me a text, you can shoot me an email, you can respond to that Google form. We just want to make sure you're included in that correspondence. And I'm super excited about family reunion, and keep on your radar. Me, Liz, and Shay will be traveling for that event. So Sierra will be here at the front desk. So any closings that you have coming up close to family reunion, make sure that you're getting that information in there early, because your 2 check cutters are going to be traveling with me. So if you have any questions about it, or interested in more information, just reach out to any of us on ALC or leadership, and we're happy to answer those questions. And then if somebody will grab Haley out of the back, I switched up our team meeting to do our sponsors at the end, so they can mix and mingle with us. And if y'all haven't heard, Lauren Stewart has gone to work for Progress Bank. She was supposed to be here with us today, but unfortunately she's quarantining right now. But they're sponsoring our lunch, so we'll bring it in. Hello. How are y'all? Thank you for coming.
But we had a good looking group. I think you guys got to see.
So Haley, take us away here.
Take us away. We've got 3 minutes. All right, y'all. So I wish we had brought it, but we'll bring it next time. Progress Bank is a new bank that is, well, we are in town as of late October. This is
Yep.
Brad Hayes,
Brad.
Nick Porter. Nick is the city president. Nick is the senior lending. And I'm the mortgage manager, and then there's a whole bunch of the rest of us, but those people are sniveling and snobbling, and they've got COVID and all that, so they're all at home. So we're the troopers, we're working. And y'all all know me and know what I do. I really wanted these guys to come in. The reason I made the move to Progress is because, quite frankly, cut to the chase, I'm tired of sending commercial loans all across town. I'm tired of sending construction loans all across town. I like a lot of the other bankers, but I want to do it all in-house. Tired of sending my commercial referrals all across town. And now happens at my fingertips. Brad, Nick, take it away. And I'm not gonna throw these. I'll go with the great.
Yeah, I had the t-shirt gun, but close proximity, maybe not. So next time we'll outdoor event. Nick Porter, I've been here in Tuscaloosa for 16 years in banking. I've done a little bit of everything from residential construction, dealing with builders, to retail, commercial investments. Really, if you name it, banking, I've had a role in there. But my last 6-7 years, I've been really primarily focused on your medium to large commercial business like clients. Here at Progress, what's great, we really, as Haley and I have talked about the past, we could really take that holistic approach to where
One of my favorite words.
where we can, we can do, some of the bigger banks I've worked at in the past, you're really had to take a rifle approach, and we're good at this. And, all these other things, I refer, just like she said, out to so many friends, throughout we're pretty much a one-stop shop. We have an investment team, private banking team, mortgage team. Brad and I he runs the market, and then as I said, am over the commercial side, so your business. But some things that we have really had some success with, even with some of the agents here, just in the past couple months, we've done a large portfolio mortgage where it was a multi-million-dollar property. With that property, run into a lot of issues, maybe comps or appraisals or whatever it may be. We can actually bring that in-house and keep it on our books, so we don't have to go by all the Fannie, Freddie, all the other rules and regulations. We still have to get information, but it's a heck of a lot easier process. This one, it was, as I said, it was multi-million-dollar property. I think we ended up closing it just over 4% as a rate. When we went up, we were able to do a HELOC on the backside that went up to 89% on value as well. So even on something that high, we typically like to keep those piggybacks probably that 85%. But even for something like this, most people that dollar amount would not even wanted to do a HELOC or something like that. Commercial property, if you guys have clients that are homeowners, they want to buy some property, we just did a commercial lots, 75% LTV. I think it was 375 on like a 7-year fixed rate. And that was just somebody that wanted to come in for speculative issue, buy a piece of property and let it sit there. Also doing some condos. So like, your large, $1 million plus or even smaller, whatever it may be, or either people that do it in a personal name or their business name, we can handle this. So just someone, hey, they're going to keep it for personal use. They're also going to have it for, for rental purposes. It's in an LLC. We're doing an over $1 million one right now that we're closing within 2 weeks because there's an appraisal that's out there. We're able to bring that in house, just look at it. And that one, we're doing a 725 at 385 at like 80% LTV. So I mean, just for those $1 million plus condos, there's not a lot of appetite sometimes for some of that stuff. But as I say, whether it's in their individual name, personal name, we can do that. And then just really all around. I mean, I think Mercedes suppliers, as large as that, our lending capacity is close to 20 million for total group. So really, we can pay just about anybody.
And it's the warrantable piece on the condos that we can get past. We could do an LLCs. We just closed the one in Florida, in Destin, but the same thing. We went to the closing attorney and they're like, you're the only bank we've seen in this entire panhandle that can do it in LLC. So rental purposes that cover, that was for a doctor as well, who just didn't want it in their name and wanted it for that, next layer from getting sued or whatever for the condo itself. But LLCs, like you said, real estate, land, I was at another bank too for about 20 years. There, we can do land, we can do strip center, we can do condos. There's just a whole list, and now we can't. So that just kind of opens it up for us. Really, there's good rates too. I mean, a lot of it's approved. Nick and I have most of everything you'll look at is normally going to be within our range of approval. And then above that, it's just me and a couple other guys vote on it up to 20 million. So
there's not a lot of minutia.
No.
And that's what I like.
What about construction loans?
We do construction in the commercial or residential
Construction
side.
firm.
Is it you do the one-time close thing? Like a new construction, or how do y'all do that?
On my side, we do have a construction firm, Kim, but we also can do it the more traditional way as well, where I close it within the bank, which would be these two guys. They could do the inspections and then we could permit it on the back. So it kind of depends on the borrower and the project.
Is it 20% down on those construction loans?
For an individual, just say they want.
Yeah, individuals 20. And then 15 on the business side, we go up to 15, and it's a one-time close as well. And it's and we lock it in at the beginning, and it's done on the business side.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate y'all coming. And welcome to Tuscaloosa.
Thank you.
You've been here, but